Welcome to Worth Asking, a podcast questioning gender inequality in politics through interviews with politicians across South Asia. In these interviews, we ask leaders about their political journeys, the challenges they face, how they overcome them and emerge as leaders, and stories of allyship and support. Today, we have Dr. Manisha Chakraborty, who is a Central Committee member at the Socialist Party of Bangladesh. She is the first woman mayoral candidate in the history of Barisal City Corporation polls. She pursued medicine and also received an appointment letter for the post of a medical assistant officer. But she found her calling in politics and started her career in politics from her student days itself. So let's get started with the questions that are worth asking. Welcome, Dr. Manisha, to the podcast.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Manisha, my first question to you would be, could you tell us a little bit more about your background and growing up as a woman in Bangladesh?
Yes, thank you for this podcast you are making and these topics you are working on. As a woman in any Asian country, there are some experiences that we face during growing up. If I want to talk about myself, it's also part of that bigger picture of women facing everyday obstacles or in Asia or even in the world itself. I was born in a middle-class family in Bangladesh, and it was a very political conscious family. And we had ties with the leftist people from a very early age. I had uncles living in Soviet Union, and he worked for the Progress publisher. So I was very much introduced to the leftist philosophies and leftist literature and progressive literatures in Bengali literature and also in international literature from a very early age. So that inspired me. That inspired me to think about social change, to think about social disparities from a very early childhood. And I had the opportunity, I had the luck to meet very inspiring characters, and especially strong female characters when I was very young. We had a woman who was a fighter in our language movement who lived very nearby to us. She was named Rani Bhattacharjee, and there was another legendary woman called Monoroma Bosu, Mashima. She was a very popular anti-British and communist leader of our region, and she was very close to our family. And our family had this liberal democratic attitude through which contributed a lot in my growing up, because I was raised as a very independent human being and not some vulnerable female mental makeup I didn't have. So that helped me a lot to build myself. But what really built me was politics, because when I was introduced to Socialist Party of Bangladesh, it was then actually when I discovered my inner self or my inner passion. And then I was very involved from I think it was second year of medicine when I got involved with student politics. And I was involved with student politics first, then I got involved with the party, Socialist Party of Bangladesh. And then we had the experience of working in many arenas, like firstly students, then I was involved in the people living in slums. Then there was another movement that was initiated in my city, but is spread out all over Bangladesh now. We have a big organization in 46 districts, which is called the Battery Run Three-Wheelers Sangram Porishod. So we are fighting for their registration, licensing. They contain 40 lakhs workers working in Bangladesh, and around that we have nearby we have 46 districts. We have good number of people involved with us, around 50,000 people I think we have our spread among. And also I am the central organizing secretary of Socialist Women's Forum. So that is also part of my duty to organize women for women's movements and to fight against the violence and to fight against the disparity. And what I really think that whatever obstacles I had, it was always this thinking of the progressive pattern of thinking and the politics of Socialist Party of Bangladesh. It really helped me to reach a certain stage, which actually helped me to overcome the common obstacles that women face in a country like Bangladesh or in any country of South Asia.
You talked about it a little, but we would love to know more about your decision to enter electoral politics because you were studying medicine and you were on your way to becoming a public servant. But then, what exactly led you to join politics and start from grassroots? How did your friends and family react to this decision of yours to join politics? If you could share a little bit more about that.
Well, it's not really much to talk about. It's a very small decision, actually. I have we know many sacrifices are there which are much bigger. It was a small step for me, but what I really felt that the diseased society needs to be treated first. The diseased political system needs to be treated first, and the diseased people, they need treatment, of course. But if the system is diseased, you cannot just treat it by giving medicines only. So I think it was that some point I realized that, and I took the decision. And of course, friends and family, it's not a regular thing that you face. So it was not very applauded among friends or families, but yeah, I had some well wishers outside party who was saying that yes, you should do what you want to do. But I think now, after some time has passed, my friends, my family, they realize that what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do, it's little clear to them now. So I think the challenge that I faced at the inner stages, at the primary stages of joining politics or doing whole time politics, it's a little bit easier now. But firstly, it was, yes, it was little difficult. But as I was determined that I'm going to do this, I know what I want to do. So I think they made peace with that with time.
I love the analogy that you made about diseases because you talked a little about challenges. Could you share a challenging time where you felt that things would have been different if you were a man?
No, actually, I thought about it. I don't think I ever felt like it because I I knew what was I going to face, and I was very determined to overcome the recognition of a political leader as a vulnerable woman, and I was very much confident about it because I don't consider myself a vulnerable woman. So whatever a man can do, I think I can do, and I had support from my fellow comrades, fellow colleagues. They were always very supportive, and they were always, they helped a lot to clear the obstacles in the path that normally appears, the taboos, the stigmas. They're always, I have a very good support system within the party. So I think that helped me a lot to stand my ground. And I never felt like this.
That's really nice to hear. So, Manisha, despite having like more women as prime ministers and main opposition leaders, Bangladesh still ranks low in terms of women's representation in parliament. So, what do you think could be the major challenge here?
It's not actually only the political system. If we only analyze the political system, the answer will not be clear because besides the political system, the answer lies in the social structures, the social status of women, the safe environment of women, the education status of women, the health status of women. And if I tell you that Bangladesh ranks the highest in child marriage, and Bangladesh, 97% of rape cases, they are not, the rapists are not put into charges. And also in public transport, almost 84% women, they face either physical or verbal harassment, sexual harassments every day. So the path to political participation, the path to women empowerment, it's not that in good position or in good shape. And if we just look at the prime ministers, it won't be clear, because for a long time after 91 we have had only female prime ministers in Bangladesh, but that means nothing, because they are just father's daughter or they are a husband's wife. That is the criteria that put them into power. They didn't come to that position from grassroots by working, by just measuring through the political ladders, by stepping through the ladders. They didn't come there. They came there through some familial lines of heritage. So I think that's just a ornamental postings for women, but that's not actually the empowerment of women that we want to see. And another thing is there in politics, in Bangladesh, the politics is greatly handled by money, by muscle power, by media, and I am sure in India and many other countries it's still like that. So for women, they are economically, of course, weaker than men, and the muscle power case, it's not easy for a woman to have that muscle power. So in politics, if you don't have these things in Bangladesh, it's very difficult to rise to that level when you can, represent yourself in the parliament. So I think that these are the reasons, and the social environment, the unsafe environment for women, and even there is disparity in law. I mean, the property laws. We still have personal laws, and women don't get rights to property. That they don't inherit their paternal property, and that creates, I mean, social psyche. Actually, that creates a very uneven social psyche, that creates in the families women are underestimated, in institutions women are underestimated, in social arenas there is a constant looking down on women, which has deep roots in our economy, because women are paid less, women own less. So I think all these matters, it has a cumulative effect, and that's why we don't see much of women in our active politics or in the parliament.
Manisha, talking of challenges, do you think age also plays a role? So, being a young woman also brings challenges in politics in contrast to being, say, a tenured woman politician?
No, I actually don't think so, because it's actually, it depends. It doesn't depend on the number. It depends, I think, on the thought process or on the working process. Because I've seen many young people who have very old school thoughts and who are just going with the flow and being part of the system. But we have seen many elderly people who are also having very modern thoughts and working to change the system. So I think age is not the deciding factor about the challenge. I think the way you organize, the way you can move, the way you can motivate people, or you can make people aware of their rights and everything. I think that's the main thing. Age is not really the main factor here.
So, if we talk of women politicians around the world, they have often reported different forms of violence, especially while they are campaigning and even afterwards. And many young women may find this narrative very demotivating. And we also read about similar incidents in your campaign when you were contesting as a mayor in Barisal. So, what should be done to make political spaces safer?
Okay. First of all, I think that if the democratic process is not working, then violence will happen against everybody. It will happen against women. It will happen against, some indigenous race. It will happen against a labor, some labor leaders. It will happen. It will happen against many, ethnicities like Dalits and many other cases. These violences will happen. So what's important, that the democratic process should be working properly, so that anyone, irrespective of sex, race, ethnicity, or any bias, they can perform their processes. We were attacked during our electoral process, but actually that was not for me being a woman. That was because I exposed the ballots were getting sealed, as it was doing in a very illegal way. One person was stealing about 100 ballots. for the vote, and we exposed that, and that's where we were attacked. So I was attacked as a political worker. I was not attacked as a woman. So I think that that was not, and there's nothing to be demotivated here, because if you join politics, you take responsibility of cleaning all this garbage that is there. So I think there's nothing to be demotivated, because you have to take the decision. Someone has to clean the garbage. Someone has to take the responsibility of changing the system. So I think there's nothing demotivating. We have had many characters in our country, like, who fought for this country without thinking about anything. Like, we have Priti Lota. She gave her life as the first female marcher in the girl from Chattogram. She was the associate of Surjo Sen, and she was the first person. She was the first female to give life for the independence of our country. And I think that there are many legendary female characters in our country who fought for this country, who fought for the laborers. We have Ila Mitro, who, the Tebhaga movement for the farmers. She led that valiantly. We have even Begum Rokia, who fought for women education without thinking about her reputation or anything. She didn't have any personal desires. She dedicated her life to this service. So I think when you join politics, you have to be ready. So, because there is no path of roses. It's not, no one will lay that bed of roses for you. It's a difficult path, and you have to face that difficulty, because if you take the decision to serve your country and to serve if you want to contribute to social change, yes, there will be obstacles, and you have to face it. You have to take that decision, and you have to have that courage, I think.
And as you march ahead in this journey, how do you see your future in politics, and what is your plan to kind of rise up? What kind of avenues exist in Bangladesh?
Well, I I will just say that I don't see any. I don't want any personal future from it. Actually, I just want to be a part of the social change that I'm working for. Whatever that social change needs me to do, if that needs me to be a labor organizer, I will be that. If that social change needs me to be, a protester, I will be that. If that even sometime, if it needs me to be an administrator, I will be that. I mean, it's just a commitment to do what this change of society that we are working for. And actually, we don't think that any, just some corrections of policies or some things are that can only change this thing. We are working for equality in society. We are working for equal rights of people, and that will need a change of economic system also. And that will not only some legalizations or some policy corrections. This will not solve the problem in the bigger picture. So what I want to see myself in the future is that I want to see myself as a part of that picture, contributing to that change, working for that change. And that's all I want from this, because I think politics is not actually a career choice. It's a choice of service. Like, you want to give yourself. You want to give yourself to the service of the country. So a country, or in a greater sense, the service of humanity. So I think that's what I want to see myself doing.
That is amazing. So, Manisha, if you were given an opportunity, what is that one thing that you would like to change for the women in Bangladeshi politics?
I will like to say that there's no particular one thing. There are many things, actually, and especially I think no, it's not the politics that needs to be changed. It's the societal laws. It's the societal viewpoints that needs to be changed. Because if a girl is unsafe, if the parents are worried that the girl will return home safe or not, if the all those statistics of rapes that are going unpunished, that are there, and this picture is not really a good thing that you get for women politicians. So and also the laws, even in this 21st century, we are having the personal laws that are governed by religious sentiments and everything. Family laws are there. So I think this is also a problem, because if the laws were corrected and women were treated equal within the family, then it would have had a social impact. It would have had a change in the social psyche that women would benefit greatly from. So I really think that the laws should be changed about the property rights, and there is huge, income disparity in women. In Bangladesh, about 2 crores of women, 2 crores and 54 lakhs women are in the labor market. And among these women, 85% they work in informal sectors. And all these informal sectors, they pay women less. So this disparity in income, this disparity in property rights, the economic weakness, the economic weak position of women, it creates a social psyche of looking down upon them. So I think that economy needs to be treated first, because if economically they are weak, we cannot just have some good talks and show some respect to them, because economy is the basis of everything. If you see yourself, if you see a weak person, that will create an impact on your mental makeup in treating them. So I think that these laws should be changed, the spaces should be safer, the environment should be safer, and it can create a kind of safer environment for women to participate in politics.
Absolutely. And Manisha, what would your thoughts be on men's role when we talk of them being colleagues and um, as allies? How do you see them advocating for women's participation in politics? What actions do you think male politicians can take to be better, effective allies?
Well, I think they should just treat women equally. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, the equal treatment and respect, and just that. I mean, nothing more is needed and nothing less is needed. Underestimation is a problem that we see every day, because when a woman gives her opinion, it's not always valued. It's not always, respected at first, until she proves her worth, that she has to earn it. So we think that the equal treatment is very necessary for our male colleagues, that they should treat women equally. And sometimes they also treat them with special care, which is also not needed. What I think, that equality is everything we needed, nothing more and nothing less.
I really love this conversation with you, Manisha. One last question from my end would be that what is your message to young women aspiring to join Bangladeshi politics, and how would you like to support them?
Yes, I would love to support them. I really think that women have a great potential if they come to politics. The all women I have seen in politics who are working now or who worked beforehand, women can make great impact, because there is a clarity in their commitments, dedications, which is really beautiful and which is really praiseworthy. But I think that what women should decide, that they should be brave enough to break the formats that the society wants them to see. In those formats the society wants them to see, they should be able to break that. They should have the courage to break through that typical pattern of female faces that the society puts upon women. Like, in one hand there is this commercial aspect, this commercialized representations of women that we see in films, in advertisements, in every media, that women are sometimes projected as commodities. And there's also this fundamentalist thought process that women should be kept at home. It's their only duty to give birth to successors, and this type of fundamentalist thought process are also there. We think that both these processes are very problematic, and we should urge the women not to be affected by these school of thoughts, and to find them as independent human beings, and with the responsibility to society, with the responsibility to social change. They should come forward, participate in politics. They should be able to face the challenge of changing politics, and they should be more in the political arena, so that there is the process can be questioned, the disparity can be questioned, and even the whole social change that can be fastened. So I really urge the young women and every era of women to be more and more engaged in the political system that works for change.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manisha. You have given me a lot of inspiration, and I'm sure you will inspire many more as you walk forward on this path that you have chosen. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you also. Thank you very much for working on this topic and for inviting me to your podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Worth Asking. We express our gratitude to 81 donors who made this year's podcast possible. To learn more about our work and how you can support us, please join our community by visiting www.cgapsouthasia.org/join. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a review and share with your peers, especially young women interested in joining politics. Thank you and stay tuned.